I thought we'd hop on and do a little forecast briefing here. Unusually quiet for April standards. When you look at April as a whole, if you've lived here any amount of time in the southeast, Alabama in particular, this can be a very turbulent month. So when we have several days in a row with no rain, no mention of thunderstorms, even anything severe, it's a good thing. The biggest story is probably a couple cool mornings. We've got a front moving through right now that's going to bring about some unseasonably cool air for us the next couple of mornings. But as always this time of year, it doesn't last long. We're at the point of the year where these cool air shots are shorter and shorter, and we're going to have a ridge build late in the week. It's going to keep us warm and dry, at least through Saturday. Some model runs are suggesting we could have some rain as early as Sunday afternoon, Easter Sunday afternoon, so that'll be something to watch here as we move forward. So let's start with a look at the regional satellite radar, and again, if you've had cloud cover this morning, if it's been windy, here's your culprit. This is a cold front moving through. Your surface high is back here in the middle of the country, and that's why our winds are picking up. You have that higher pressure filtering in, and it's a cooler air mass to the north and to the west of here. Let me show you where those temperatures are. So our winds are coming from this general direction. You look here at where we're sourcing our winds from. So much cooler. So as our winds come in throughout the day today, they're coming from that cool air mass. So while we won't be dropping to 51 this afternoon, we will have a chilly breeze at times. That's going to make it tough for temperatures to rebound in a big way as we head into the afternoon. So just, a little assessment of that there. Winds will be at times today as high as 20, 25, even gusts up to 30 are possible into the afternoon. I'm doing this just before 10:30 on Tuesday morning. So let's go to our Alabama temperatures, and there's not a huge difference from north to south. You got Mobile and Dothan, Andalusia, Monroeville, all in the 70s. Montgomery also showing 70. Birmingham was warmer at 3 o'clock this morning than we are right now at 63. That's due in part to the clouds and that cooler air filtering in here. We're even warmer up in the Shoals, Tennessee Valley, 65 in Huntsville. So today, again, I've plotted the winds on here. You got this cooler air spilling in, and that's going to bring about the winds that I talked about. We're also going to be probably in the 60s once you get along US 278 and points north. Along I-20 and south, we should be in the lower 70s. Mid to upper 70s in the Wiregrass because the front will not get there as quickly. We'll be able to warm up before that coolest air or the coolest air arrives. What about our lows overnight tonight? Well, not done with the 40s just yet. In fact, Central Alabama, we had a spat of 40s in early May. I think it was the first week in May the last 2 years. So not uncommon, but certainly can be chilly this time of year, especially once you've got used to warmer temperatures. And the 40s will go all the way down to the coast. Escambia, Baldwin counties, Covington, Geneva, Houston, Henry Dale, all in the 40s potentially as we start the day on Wednesday. Wednesday afternoon, we stay seasonally cool. We'll still have a light northerly breeze in place, and the coolest air aloft will be over Alabama, and that'll just keep temperatures in check. The warmest spots down closer to I-10, Dothan 75, Mobile 74, much of northern Alabama 70 to about 73 degrees. And then we look ahead to the following night. This would be Thursday morning at about 6 o'clock. Our lows typically occur right at or just after sunrise this time of year. And we'll be walking out the door on Thursday with chilly temperatures, but a few more 50s around, and we shouldn't have much, if any, 40s once you get down south of, say, a line from Troy, Monroeville, Andalusia. Wiregrass should probably be in the lower 50s. A few isolated 40s are possible. So what about our late week temperatures? Let's go to Friday morning. That was Thursday morning that you just saw there. Thursday afternoon will be close to 80. And then Friday, we start the warming trend back into the 80s. So this is at 3 o'clock on Friday. This will come with a little bit more cloud cover, perhaps some high cirrus clouds, but, mid 80s. Pretty standard for a warm up this time of year as a ridge sets in place. We'll talk about that in just a minute. As we head into Saturday morning, lows now in the 60s. So you see how quickly that changes. The coolest spots will be up in northeastern Alabama where we'll have some mid-50s. Much of the state, though, between about 60 and 68 degrees by Saturday morning. And then Saturday afternoon, go to about 3 o'clock. Again, middle 80s in most spots. These aren't exact numbers. This is model data, but I expect, 83, 84, 85, really all across the northern half of the state, 85, 86, 87 in areas to the south, including Mobile, the Wiregrass, parts of southwest Alabama. By Easter Sunday, for those of you going to sunrise services, it's going to be warm. You got temperatures in the mid-60s early Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. We are looking at high temperatures will be conditional. I say that because if the rain starts to move in earlier, like some of the later runs are suggesting, we may not make it into the middle 80s. We may stay a little bit cooler. So let's talk about that. So our upper level pattern, this is what we look at to kind of get the general idea of what's happening in the atmosphere. So this is today. That cooler air in place, it's because we have this trough. So the coldest air is here, but as you can see, the warmest air is over here. That's our ridge that'll eventually be moving in place. But for the time being, we have this troughing, and that's why we're going to be a bit cooler here over the next couple of days. This is Wednesday morning. And then notice this ridge starts to really build in by Thursday. So Thursday afternoon is our big pivot point where this ridge sets up. And then Friday it becomes much more pronounced. So what do we have here Friday afternoon? Pretty solid ridge, and the warmest temperatures will be right in here where you see those darker oranges. These are looking at height values. So warm air takes up more space, which means the atmosphere is higher, thicker beneath here, and that's how it's depicted. The orange, those are higher atmospheric heights. Compared to back here, we have much cooler air, so lower atmospheric heights, but this is how we determine where warm air is and cooler air is, and a very similar setup to what we had at the beginning of the month. You've got rain and storms that are going to be focused right in here, and for a couple days in a row, unfortunately, and that's going to mean rain and perhaps a few thunderstorms in this part of the country over the span of really Friday, Saturday, and even into Sunday. This is a look at Saturday early in the morning, and we will jump ahead to go a little bit later into the forecast period. So this will be now on Sunday afternoon. So when you look at this, where's that ridge now? Well, it's shifted. So as soon as this shifts, that's going to allow this trough to move into the southeast. That's going to bring with it rain chances. So the question is, how quickly does this break down? If it breaks down sooner, that means our rain chances are sooner. If it holds tough through Sunday, our rain chances are probably focused on Monday. It's been a small sample size, but a few models are kind of pointing at the rain. So let's go to one of those here. This is the GFS, and this is going to be looking at, let's see, we'll go Sunday. We'll start this a little earlier and work up from there. So this is Easter Sunday morning. Whatever you might be doing, maybe you've got an Easter egg hunt, maybe you've got early church service. The rain initially depicted over Mississippi, parts of Tennessee. As we get into the afternoon, 3, 4, 5 o'clock, you got a pretty good swath of rain and storms potentially moving into West Alabama. Now, I will note most of the runs have had the rain getting here a little bit later, but this most recent one here at a little before 10:30 in the morning has got it coming in a little bit sooner. So we'll keep in there the caveat that we could have some rain move in Sunday afternoon and then continue on Monday. Remember, that ridge breaks down, this trough is able to swing through, and so the focal point of our rain, I think, is still on Monday. I think it's fair to say the range is from Sunday night through Tuesday. You can see the full scale of the system moving through here Tuesday into Wednesday. This will not carry with it a big cool down. We'll be a few degrees cooler, and ridging high pressure should build back in by Tuesday afternoon. So at this time, I'm not really expecting much in the way of widespread severe. We can go to one of our severe parameters here, and we can look at our energy values. All right, so Kate is looking at how much energy is available in the atmosphere. So this is Sunday evening. There's just not a whole lot there. You certainly want to see much more than that in place. So this is very marginal instability. If we have thunderstorms, it's going to be here. So that's where you have better instability, better vertical motion in the atmosphere, and likely where we would have more organized, stronger storms if that does come to fruition. So that'll be something to watch as we head into next week. Again, for the time being, we're in a transition period from really the warmer air that's been in place the last couple of days to a cooler air mass. We'll have a couple cool mornings, but really, nothing of note here, at least in the short term, which is good. Historically, our most active tornado month is April, so it's good to see that we're at least going through the next several days, not only without any thunderstorms, but without any inclement weather. So we'll keep you posted. That's your weather forecast briefing for this Tuesday morning. Have a great day.